episode number 30 of the Crafty Historian Podcast. My name is Rachel, and you can find me on Instagram as Ravenclaw Rachel and on Ravelry as RachelRavenclaw. We also have a podcast group, we also have a Ravelry group for the podcast, which you can find if you just search the Crafty Historian Podcast in the groups tab. Thank you very much if you are a returning viewer. If you're new here, as I said, my name is Rachel and I am studying for a Masters in Public History at the University of York. It's been another little while, which I will explain in a bit, but I am currently a little pressed for time, so this should hopefully be a shorter one than usual. Firstly, I am wearing today the dress that I showed on my last podcast. So this is the New Look 6184 dress, and you can see it's got these nice little pleats here. I made it out of this blue poly cotton with white flowers on it, and it's really nice. If I look very smart, that's because I am going to a centenary commemoration service in about an hour. So I didn't want to waste being all dressed up for nothing. You might as well get a podcast out of my spare time, right? So yes, we have at the moment an ongoing giveaway. So this was for reaching 200 subscribers, and if I remember correctly, I am giving away some stitch markers and a knitter keyring from the York Makery, which is my local yarn shop, and you can enter in the Ravelry group. There's a thread, and the prompt is, what is your favourite period of history? There's quite a good chance of winning at the moment. There have only been 4 entries, that's why I'm leaving it open until the next podcast. But yes, go ahead and head over there. There's also a casual knit along thing for my first pattern, which is the white rose hat, which there is a thread for as well in the Ravelry group. There are currently 2 people who have knit my pattern, and it feels amazing. So thank you both of you. It really means a lot, and they look gorgeous, even if we've had a couple of fit issues. If in doubt, I knit quite tight, so you may want to either go down needle size or down like a head size. It's probably something we should have accommodated for, but I did a gauge. I stuck the gauge in there, so as long as you hit the same gauge, I suppose. I don't know. But then people don't usually gauge swatch for a hat. Never mind. I know I don't gauge swatch for hats. So yes, I think that's everything I need to talk about at the top of the episode. Forgive me if I've forgotten something. But yes, if you want to let me know what you're knitting, you're always free to tell me. I love a bit of conversation. So, for you today, I have 4 finished objects. And in fact, this whole podcast comes with a bit of a warning, in that if you know me in real life, chances are you're not going to be able to watch. So if you are my sister, my friend Polina, my friend Frances, my friend Kat, my friend Liv, potentially my mother, I can't remember if I've got that. Yeah, if you're any of those people, don't watch. And if you're my friend in real life, it might also be safe not to watch if you want to surprise or be surprised when I give these gifts to other people. Up to you. So yeah, gifts galore, I suppose. So yes, I have 4 finished objects. I believe you've only seen one of them, which is a white rose hat. And this is for my friend Polina, so she better be gone by now. She better be gone. I have yet to weave in ends, as per me, but it is done. So this is the white rose hat, or the white rose of York, and it's a crown cast on, and then you work down the petals, down the leaves. We've got some crenellations around the edge here for a nice neat 1x1 twisted rib. So yes, I knit this in Sirdar Snuggly 4-ply in this creamy colour, which is looking rather grey, but that's just because I've got no natural light anywhere. It's very grey in York today. So yes, here it is. I love the detail of the crenellations down here. I don't know why, they just take me. So this will be, once the ends are woven in, it won't block out particularly well, so it will look a bit circus tenty. I can stick this in the post for her for Christmas. I'm not sure I'm going to see her again before February. So yes, ta-da! So yes, this is the White Rose of York hat, designed by me. She requested it. I'm not just foisting my pattern on anyone. She did request it. So there we go. One. Second finished object is a small one. If you remember from last Christmas, I kind of went on a weird kick. So I reincarnated it with the mini Weasley jumpers. I think this is like my 10th or so that I've made. This one's just made out of black DK with a little red C knit into. That's blowing out crazy. So yes, it's just a teeny tiny decoration. It's knit in 4 pieces and then I seam them together. You're meant to Swiss darn the top, but I do it as colour work just because I find it easier. And then I attach a loop so that it can hang up. So yes, nice and small Christmas gift. And really interestingly, so this pattern I believe is by Alison Hansel. May be wrong there, but it's in the Charmed Knits book. But I knit all the component pieces, so the front, the back and the 2 sleeves, in under an hour. So could be an indication that my knitting's getting quicker. So yes, nice, quick, easy little gift, and very personal, I feel. So I'm sure she'll love it. It's just DK on 4mm needles, but I enjoy them. So that's finished object number 2. If I'm whizzing, I'm sorry. They're not particularly interesting, I don't feel. Although I love this next one. So my third finished object is for my friend Francis, and he is a massive Star Wars nerd. If you remember last year, I crocheted him a mini Millennium Falcon. It's about this big. So, you know, BB-8's either eaten something and grown, or the Millennium Falcon's shrunk because it looks like BB-8 could swallow the Millennium Falcon. So yes, this is what Francis is getting for Christmas this year. This was a free pattern on Ravelry. I can't remember exactly, but it's something like knitted BB-8. And again, you're meant to do all of this colour work with Swiss darning. Well, I don't want to Swiss darn things, so that's why he's looking a little square. Oh no, I've dropped BB-8. My floats were a bit tight, unfortunately, so he's looking a bit square. But that does mean he stands up quite nicely. The detail is amazing in this pattern. So you've got all of these dashes around the top, and each one of these sort of circular bits are unique, and they reference like his actual body parts. I don't know what to call them. Oh, that's blowing out horribly. And then this is just a toy safety eye to make a sort of lens. And he's stuffed with stuffing, so he's nice and light. And I need to knit myself one, if I'm perfectly honest, because he's adorable. Now I've just whipped stitched his head on, so it's a little movable, but he's not going to spin around because I'm not that advanced. Can you tell I want one? He's just, I don't know what it is about BB-8, how a sphere can be so expressive, but even in knitted form, I just love him. Maybe Francis won't be getting BB-8. No, Francis will be getting BB-8. I don't have time to knit another one before Christmas. So yes, little friend. He can sit there. So that was number 3. Now finished object number 4. It's another gift. Oh yeah, BB-8 was made out of DK acrylic in white, orange and grey. Just scraps I had around. I think I used 3.25mm needles. But my final finished object is the one I'm most proud of. And this is the fact that I have knit my sister a pair of mittens. So I used the Tin Can Knits pattern for the easiest mittens in the world, I think they're called. I think I knit them in the larger the medium, I think, can't remember. Large or the medium size in the adult sizes. DK as well. So this is more DK. This is Stylecraft Life DK in the copper colourway. Because my sister's not going to wash wool properly. I'm very proud of my thumbs. I mean, just generally look at them. But yeah, although my gauge changed considerably, so perhaps next time I will do these in a slightly larger size. But I'll show, it doesn't affect the fit. My sister's hand is about the same size as mine, if not mine's a little bigger, and they fit nicely. I've got longer fingers, so this is just above where like my crease is. Oh, we're going into full sock puppet territory here. So yeah, I've still got ends to weave in because it's me. I made a few adjustments. So the first thing was I did 3 inches of 2x2 rib as opposed to 4 inches of 1x1 rib down here for the cuff, just because I prefer the look of 2x2 and I got bored, as I do. And then the other thing that I did differently was for the decreases at the top, they have you decrease and then gather it all up. I only decreased until, so they ask you to decrease until there's like 4 stitches left, I think, and then you gather them all together. I decreased to 12 and then kitchenered the tops, just because I like this look better. Although I'm not as fond of these sort of train tracks on the side here. They look a bit weird. So I think I would do it slightly differently, but I haven't figured out how yet. But I'm very happy with these. These were knit on 3.25mm needles. Although, as I said, my gauge changed for the thumb, so these are much more snug. But there's still a full range of movement in there. I myself am not a particular mitten person, but even I want a pair because these are so warm. And there's lots of room for fingers. Perhaps there's too much room, but I mean it has to be this long for the top of your finger. It's just, maybe I've just got very short little fingers because my pinky only comes up to here, and then you can, I don't know if that makes my hand weird, but then there's so much gap around here. Maybe that's a good thing. I don't know. I don't wear mittens. People who know stuff about mittens, is this how mittens are meant to fit? Because I can do that. But that's a weird mitten shape. Could I recenter it? I don't know, that looks obscene. So yeah, I'm not sure how mittens fit, but I hope she likes them. She requested them, she got them. And they've been sitting in a bag with a load of Lush stuff, so they smell really nice. Yes, those are for my sister for Christmas. And that is a whirlwind tour on all of my finished objects of this week. Week, episode. Okay, so I finished these not that long ago. Haven't really been knitting, so there wasn't much cast on before then, but I have 2 works in progress at the moment. None of them are particularly far. So the first one I have is the second in my trio of hats for the children I babysit. And this one, ooh, what have you done here? Oh, there we go. This one is neon green because he's a weird boy. So much green. So yes, these are just acrylic hats that I'm knitting, 2x2 rib, and then it'll just be stocking it up to the top. The little girl's got a pom-pom, the boys won't. I don't know. 12-year-olds don't want pom-poms, do they? Don't really know boys very well. So yeah, this is how far I've got. Maybe an inch of 2x2 rib on 3.75mm needles. I think I've got about 112 stitches. Which might be too big, I can't tell. If it can fit my head, that'll be fine, because they've got the same size head as mine. We'll see. Yeah, nothing particularly exciting going on there, but you know, it's one of the last few Christmas presents I've got to do. Got to go do this and his brother's hat, and then I've just got stuff left to do for Mum. Because of course the most important person you put off until doing last. So yeah. Not a pair, you can't have a pair, well you could have a pair of hats. So that's that hat going at the moment. And the other one is another hat which I'm keeping inside here. and this is for my friend Liv, who I knit the green pair of skip socks in the summer for. I am knitting her a matching hat, although it's not, as in it's only matching because it's the same yarn, which is, do I have the ball band? Yes I do. It's Signet Truly Wool Rich 4-ply in the shade Holly 0204. 50 grams, 75% superwash new wool and 25% polyamide. And with this, I'm knitting the Hermione Hearts Ron hat again because I love mine, and yeah, she likes a good cable hat too. So I'm about halfway through the first repeat. So I've done the first 2 eyelets. If you can see there, 1, 2. Sorry, I've got an itch. So yes, I've done the first 2 eyelets. I need to do the third and then the first cable, and then repeat that 4 times, I think, 3 times. This is slightly lighter than mine because I used a sport weight, but it's stretching to the same size, so that's all that matters. Hopefully it'll fit her head. Again, I don't gauge swatch for hats, but I'm hoping it'll be okay. Blowing out terribly. Maybe. The eyelets have aligned there, you can just see through it. Oh, I can see you, I'm not sure if you can see me. So that's my other work in progress at the moment. Did put a couple of rows on my own sock though, which is impressive because I don't think I've touched that for like at least 2 months. But I did pick it up and I did some stuff in it and decide what heel I'm going to do, because I know heel flap and gusset fits me best, but I'm not sure I've got the brain capacity to do a toe up gusset. Should I take the easy route out and do a fish lips kiss heel, or should I actually do the one that fits my foot? Let me know what you think. I keep knocking it. I'm so sorry. This is not great, but you're getting it. The only sewing I have to show today is what's been hanging out the back here. And if you follow me on Instagram, you may have picked up on this. This is my Loki costume that I wore for essentially Halloween. It was Yorkshire Swim, which is our Halloween event. I made it. So it's a dress that I found in a charity shop, so I didn't have to make the base. It's got these pleather sections. I believe it was from Primark, but I got it for like £3 in the charity shop, and then I sewed the rest of it on top. So I stuck in these green panels at the side. I've got a gold section here, as well as these black crisscrosses, and finally a slit at the bottom here, because Loki loves a cheeky thigh split. So yes, this actually took a lot longer and a lot more planning than I expected. I had lots of reference images on my Pinterest, that I could do this, and everything was hand sewn on, so that took longer than, you know, a machine. But I'm actually really proud of it. No one had to ask me who I was, but that could just be because they were being polite. I dyed my hair black. Although for the life of me I couldn't find a pair of like horns that I could paint gold. Which is none anywhere in York. They're all either fabric or useless. Maybe we're too religious in York. Yes. I made a costume. Don't know when I'll ever wear it again. But I did it. Yeah. I also have a couple of acquisitions this week because it seems that people have often said that buying yarn and knitting yarn are two different hobbies. So when the knitting has depleted, the buying suddenly goes up. That's finally happened to me because I paid my tuition fees and there was still things left in the bank. What is this? So yeah, I treated myself to a couple little things. Firstly, I got hold of the West Yorkshire Spinners Christmas colourway for 2018. I believe this is something like Fairy Lights it's called. It's lovely green and red and white and pink and blue, and it knits up beautifully. I love a good West Yorkshire Spinners. I need to knit some more socks. I do, I know I do. Smells gorgeous too. This is a 75% wool, 25% nylon, and 35% of some of it is Blueface Leicester. And it's 100 grams and 400 meters. So that is being welcomed into the yarn stash. And then I put in an order with Rosy of Pixel Atlantis, and I kind of went overboard. Admittedly, I only ordered these two. Rosy, the darling she is, put in 2 mini skeins for me. So I have a mini skein of her Perth Festival of Yarn 2018 colourway, which is this lovely purple with, well, it's a lilac with dark purple and blue speckles, which is really nice because I wanted to go, but Perth is a little far away from me, so I couldn't get up there, but now I've got a little bit of it with me here. And the second free one she put in was Octopus Ink, which is this gorgeous purple, and I am in love with it. Isn't it stunning? Oh, I love it. So my colours. Look, they match the wallpaper over there. Definitely my colours. And then the 2 that I actually bought were full 100 gram skeins. This is her logo, by the way. And I did actually buy the Perth Festival of Yarn colourway in the big skein. So this is what it looks like. Big, I believe this is exclusive, so she's not dyeing it again. There's just some beautiful colours all the way through. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Doesn't that look yummy? So I've got this. I think this is going to grow up to be a spindrift shawl or a tulle shawl. I want to do a one skein shawl from Curious Handmade. And this is her Pixel Atlantis's 12 4-ply base, which is high twist, superwash, merino and nylon. 20% superwash merino and 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon. I will get there eventually. And it's 365 meters because of that high twist. And in the same base, I got Poisonous Poppies, which is this lovely sort of corally reddy burgundy with black and blue speckles all the way through, which is really lovely. I haven't quite decided what I'm doing with this yet. I might do a design, or I might knit some socks, or I might have a shawl. It goes quite well with my red lipsticks, and I don't really go out without, well, I do go out without lipstick. That's usually when I'm on an off day and I'm in leggings. But yes, it goes with the red lipstick. I'll figure something out. So thank you, Rosie, for all my lovely goodies. I love them very, very much. So yeah. Small but perfectly formed. I need to wind them now. I never think about that. I can't, yeah. Have to be around my knees. Lovely. So yes, not been scrapbooking. Just haven't had the time. I can give you a teeny tiny bit of history this week. We actually, for my seminar for public history this week, we're looking at commemorations, and as I mentioned at the beginning, I'm going to York's centenary commemoration. Basically the project I think they've been running, or they're like manifesting, is they've got one person from every year since the end of World War One. So someone who was born every year since the end of World War One. And we're all coming together. So I will be representing 1995. Don't know really what to expect. It's 2 hours, but I can put it on my CV. You may have noticed I am wearing a poppy. This is a 9 squadron poppy, because that's where my dad served. And our slogan is Per Noctem Volamus, which I think is at night we fly, or at night we strike. I can't remember. But it's got a bat in the middle. The unofficial motto is tabs, which is there's always be something. There's always blinking something. I think you know what word actually comes in the middle. So tabs. I'm having a bit of a tabs week at the moment. The 9, yeah, I'm not sure what I can say history wise. We're coming to the end of 4 years worth of commemoration of the First World War, and the difference between, and yeah, so we were talking about the conflict between commemoration, celebration and honouring, because they're used in like similar things, but actually they mean very different things. So you wouldn't celebrate the end of World War One, but for some reason we celebrate the end of World War Two. It's all to do with that sort of public psyche, and the idea of honouring is when you've got controversial people like Nelson. So this is at 1805. Lord Nelson and the Battle of Trafalgar. The idea of honouring a person even if they're not a good person, is something that is contentious. I mean, most of the time, this is not something I'd ever thought about. It's just like, there are certain times that we go, yes, we can do this. For example, I remember 2015, it was the anniversaries of Magna Carta, Battle of Agincourt, Battle of Waterloo, but we're also halfway through the World War One commemorations at that point. It was a weird set of things that they've tried to clump together. So we've been looking at how we can reconcile that and whether or not. So, for example, with Remembrance Day in the UK, it's quite a ritualised response, and it happens every year, and whether or not that means we've lost the meaning for it. Personally, because I am quite heavy, it holds quite a heavy symbolism for me, I would say that it still has its meaning. I will still cry every time I watch, I can't remember what it is, but the one at the Royal Opera, is it the Royal Opera House? Royal Albert Hall, I can't remember, the one on the Saturday night where they have the bands of the Air Force and they sort of march in, and it might be the Albert Hall, but they make the drums altars, and then there's the church person does a sermon, at which point we saw one of our Padres pitch up once. It's like, oh my goodness, it's Padre Dawn, what's she doing on the TV? And then they rain the poppy leaves down whilst they're all stood there, and it catches in their hats. So in a way it's ritual in the fact that I always watch it, but it always means something. And this is the idea between personal and public commemoration. The publics are what they put it on, and personal is how we interact with it. Don't know if that really counts as history. I should hope that most people know that World War One ended on the 11th of November 2018. Not 2018, 1918. It's 2018 now. It's been a century. Where they ended 4 years of fighting. And it's whether or not we challenge the narrative of the futility of the fighting to goodness knows what. I got very angry at that article. Very angry. Yes. I believe that everyone is entitled to commemorate how they wish. Be that if they are acknowledging people who have died, if we are acknowledging those who helped or served. So for example, you get the purple poppy, which is for children, not children, animals. Well, they're kind of the same. I apologise. So the purple poppy I think is for animals. Even if it's the white poppy and we're promoting peace, everyone commemorates differently, and I don't think we should judge people for that. My opinion. I will wear the poppy because that's just what I relate to the most. I wear my special one because it's not necessary. This is the other thing about commemoration, you can take it to what it means. So it's either commemorating, it can be everything, but it's also commemorating any serviceman that has died since. So that's why it can get pretty personal at times. And we have to allow people that space to do it. So that is why I will wear the poppy. I will wear this sort of personalised one. My other poppy is an RAF poppy, just because that is how I identify this sort of period with, because it's what I know. But you are free to have your own views. It is history. We can't deny it. And we have a right to remember it in our own ways. So yes, it's been a weird one, but thank you for listening. I shall hopefully be back with you soonish. See you soon, guys. Bye.